Hey everybody, it's me, Steve Schnee, the CD Junkie. On this episode of CD Junkie, I'm going to be talking about an Australian singer-songwriter by the name of STEPHEN Cummings. But I can't talk about STEPHEN Cummings without talking about a band called The Sports. I always like to start these episodes off by telling you how I got into a band, and that was when The Sports' first American album came out, and that was an album called Don't Throw Stones, and I loved it. A lot of people sort of threw them in with the Elvis Costello, Joe Jackson, Graham Parker, angry young man type thing, and I can sort of see those comparisons because they were very frenetic, very energetic, very in your face, but they were also just very great pop. But of course, so were Elvis Costello, Joe Jackson, and Graham Parker. But that might give you a little bit of an idea of what The Sports sounded like. Now, at the very end of this episode, I'm going to make this very, very short and quickly go through these because I have a medley of tracks from The Sports and STEPHEN Cummings, and I've tried to just sort of jam in just kind of the changes in his career and stuff. And so you're going to be able to experience that. But let's go through the catalog real quick. And of course, I'm doing this on CD. Their first album, Reckless, came out in 1978. This is the 2 CD version that features tons of bonus tracks. And of course, this is the album I got into them on. It's called Don't Throw Stones, came out in 1979. This has the song that probably most Americans are going to know, and that's a song called Who Listens to the Radio. Again, this is a 2 CD version with loads of bonus tracks. Their third album, Suddenly, came out in 1980. This is the Australian cover. I'm going to show you the American cover right there. I love the American cover much more than the Australian cover, but this was another great collection of songs. Sandra never came out in the U.S. This was their final album, came out in 1981. I believe it was produced by Cameron Allen, and song-wise it's great, production-wise it's kind of flat, but still you need to add it to your collection. The band broke up and STEPHEN Cummings went off on a solo career. This 2 CD set contains his first 2 solo albums, Senso from 1984 and This Wonderful Life from 1986. These albums are definitely keyboard heavy, very 80s, but they have more of an R&B feel, moving away from the rootsy rock and roll of The Sports. And both of those albums are contained in this 2 CD set, and there are bonus tracks as well. I prefer Senso. I think it's a great record, has a lot of great songs on it. His third and fourth albums are combined on this 2 CD set. One is called Lovetown, and the other was called A New Kind of Blue. Lovetown came out in 1988. New Kind of Blue came out in 1989. Both albums are there on 2 CDs. 1991, out comes an album called Good Humor. Still, he's going and he's attempting different things. Like on this album, it could have something that's very sort of blues acoustic based, but then it's got something that's very almost house dancey, and he's just doing everything. STEPHEN Cummings always plays the game his way or no way. So whatever he wants to do, he goes in the studio and he does it. He puts it out. That's a great thing about his albums. You never knew what to expect, but you always knew it was going to be classy. 1992, out comes the album Unguided Tour. And I guess his record contract or something must have been up, because in 1993, out comes this collection called Roller Coaster. And this has songs from The Sports, from the albums I just talked about, plus a couple new songs as well. Now, really, he finally hit upon this wonderful sound. Instead of chasing the music, he was allowing the music to come to him, and the music that was coming out of him from this point on is just solid and wonderful. It can be haunting, it can be humorous, it can be heartbreaking. It's just absolutely stellar, wonderful. Basically, the stuff I'm going to show you now is the absolute cream of the crop. This stuff I showed you was great. This solo stuff is tremendous. 1994, out comes an album called Falling Swinger. This is produced by Steve Kilbey from The Church, and you can really hear it. He really allows Stephen to express his music. It's very emotional. He's not playing games, and it's actually just fantastic. He no longer sounds like the guy from The Sports, and you're going to hear that in the medley at the end of this video. 2 years later, Escapist came out, and that's another album produced by Steve Kilbey. And that's another great collection of just wonderful, heartfelt songs. And then, oddly enough, out comes another compilation, and this one is called Puppet, Pauper, Pirate, Poet, Pawn, and King. And this is a great place to start. If you're thinking, I want to start a STEPHEN Cummings collection, this 1997 release is great. It has tracks from the previous albums I just talked about, as well as a couple new songs. One of them is called Slowly Going to Pieces, which is one of my favorite Stephen Cummings songs. 1999, out comes the album Spiritual Bum. Again, he's going in that more folky, folk rock, down to earth. I guess here it would be called Americana. Maybe it's called Australian Acana over there. And then Skeleton Key came out in 2001. A lot, just great stuff. Quite possibly my favorite Stephen Cummings solo album is 2003's Firecracker. This, he sort of gets that rockabilly vibe in him, but it's not rockabilly. It's the spirit of rockabilly, but it's him and his frequent collaborators recording this music that can sometimes be joyous, sometimes heartbreaking, but it has a real sense of rock and roll to it, even though it's, mostly acoustic. So he's not pretending to be rockabilly, but it has the spirit of it. It doesn't have the slap bass and all that stuff, but it's absolutely fantastic. In 2004, out comes the album Close-Ups, which is him doing acoustic versions of some of his solo material as well as sports songs. 2005, Love-O-Meter comes out. Again, these are all really sort of rooted in that sound that he's been following since 94, but he does expand upon that. But 9 times out of 10, whenever I show somebody Stephen Cummings music, they fall head over heels for him. This is called Space Travel, came out in 2007. Happiest Man Alive came out in 2008. Tickety Boo came out in 2009. I want to say that again. Tickety Boo came out in 2009. Good Bones came out in 2010, and Good Bones is another album where he does acoustic versions of solo material and sports material, and that's there. Now, I was really excited when I got this in the mail. I had ordered it from Australia, and it's autographed by Stephen. It says, "Love you, Stephen Cummings." I was super excited until I realized, the album's called Reverse Psychology, so Stephen Cummings hates me. But anyway, that's another great release. 2014, out comes Nothing to Be Frightened Of, and 2019 comes Prisoner of Love, same artist doing that, and then that is it. Unfortunately, Stephen Cummings suffered a stroke, which thank goodness he's recovering from, so I send him love and regards and warmest thoughts, and hopefully he makes a full recovery. But this might be it for him as a recording artist. So if you're even remotely interested in getting into Stephen Cummings, the things I would recommend to start out with are that compilation that I told you about, Firecracker, which is my favorite album. Well, I guess it's tied with my favorite album because both Falling Swinger and Escapist are great albums. But if you want to maybe get a better idea of his music without buying the entire catalog, there is always the box set called A Life is a Life. And if you're lucky, you might be able to find it autographed by Stephen Cummings. That's how I found mine. So anyway, that is it. Stay tuned right now for a medley of songs starting with the sports, and then it's going to end with Stephen doing an acoustic version of a sports song. So I hope you enjoy this.
with you. I know what you need. Someday we'll all be free. Well, why we're gonna say if it doesn't quite work out that way? I know what you need. Someday we'll all be free. Well, why we're gonna say if it doesn't quite work out that way? A life is a lie, more or less. I fell from a great height, scrambling with myth and light, surrendered to a dream that was absolutely right. I fell from a great height. I fell from a great height. All the while I was under the impression, falling on the border like an ace. You almost smiled, short of my discretion, lost into the desert of your face. Just the other side of disgrace. I said no, I changed. I said no, I changed. I think I know your kind. I said no, I changed. I changed my mind. Yeah, take 'em by surprise. Oh yeah. Nobody ever could ever feel this way. Nobody ever could ever feel this way. A key can open a car, the wine I mean. I was trying to forget. You be my skeleton key. She cares for me, my skeleton key. There's an apples over the skyline. I want you to hold me, want you to hold me all the time. There'll be music in the air and the moon shone bright. Music in the air when we met tonight. Music in the air and the moon shone bright. Music in the air when we met tonight. Give me your love. Pretty girls can travel far, but how far is too far? Pretty girls can travel far, all the way to California. Love is space and time. Love is space and time. Space and time. That's a stupidity. That's a stupidity. That's a stupidity. That's a stupidity. Drop down on one knee. Drop down on one knee. Don't you see miserably? Yeah, when love comes back to haunt you, Whispers of pain you thought had gone, waiting like a thief all alone. Yeah, when love comes back to haunt you, it whispers of pain you thought was gone, waiting like a thief all alone. All alone, all alone. Who listens to the radio? Who listens to the radio? Who listens to the radio? Who listens to the...
Anyway, that's it. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and to ring that bell for future notifications, and leave a comment. And until the next time, remember me. I'm Steve Schnee, the CD Junkie.